What are realistic expectations for the new look Miami first full recruiting cycle? Plenty of buzz about the staff, but we're wondering if we are setting the bar too high for the first cycle together. Well, let's define where the bar has been set. I've set it really high. I won't back away from that. I've set the bar for Miami's first full recruiting cycle under Mario Cristobal really high. And the first full cycle, meaning this one that we're in right now, they still managed to sign the best major class in the state of Florida this past cycle, and they were on campus like 10 minutes. So they ended up doing that. I think they were 15th, somewhere in the mid-teens. Now what are they going to do with their first full cycle? My expectation is they will flirt with a top 5 class every cycle, and that's including this one. I think they'll be up there. I think they'll be that lofty a recruiting power. Notable commits already. They got Cyrus Moss in there, Nigelique Kelly's in there, and we're showing you the chart. It's too early to even break this down, but I think it pales in comparison to the noise that they're going to be able to make as a staff on the recruiting trail this cycle and in years to come. What they're going to do this year, what this Miami staff will do this recruiting cycle, is they'll cast the vision, they will have announced they've arrived, and they'll let you know by the result next early signing day and national signing day. You'll know, I think, a lot of what some people are still doubting. I don't doubt it, but I think a lot of people do still doubt it. But then all of a sudden, the talk will turn from right now, is it just going to be that big a deal, period? Or is this higher overblown? It'll go from that to, okay, well, we see they're going to recruit. Mario Cristobal's recruited before, so maybe I shouldn't have been surprised by that. But now, is he going to get it done on the field? That's already where I am. I'm not even worried about recruiting. So the question here is almost an afterthought to me, Jose. I would be stunned if they weren't recruiting at the very least at a top 10 level. But I had an argument with a guy the other day, one of our viewers. I had an argument where he said it's just totally unrealistic to think that Miami could recruit at a top 5 level. It's not like I don't know what I'm saying. 5, 4, 3, somewhere around there, that's big time. I just think it's a big time staff. I think the staff was put together to have immediate brand and name recognition in the state of Florida. I don't think they're going to confine themselves just to South Florida, but that will certainly be, for all intents and purposes, their base of operation, and they'll prioritize that. But look, if they need to go to Raleigh, if they need to go to New Orleans, if they need to go to Little Rock, they could do that. This staff is fully capable of doing that. You don't just have South Florida recruiters here. You got national recruiters who know South Florida, and that was the priority and the emphasis that Mario Cristobal placed on putting the staff together, and he largely got guys. He got guys with pedigrees. He got guys that have already been around the block, guys that know the South, guys that know South Florida in particular, and guys that have credibility. When you go Wikipedia, a lot of these guys, they're not first or second year types. They've been places before. They've worked for some of the best. And so now you don't have to wonder whether he can be able to. They already have. So I don't have any doubt about that. What I'm already thinking is what I think a lot of people will end up thinking. I'm already thinking recruiting's going to be great. Let's see what they do on the field. That's where I've been since day one with Mario Cristobal in town. So I think it stands to reason if you had doubts about him at Oregon and whether he could take Oregon to the playoff and beyond, it's fair to still have those doubts. That's fair. It's also reasonable, though, to understand in the grand scheme of things, this is still a young head coach. You got some years at FIU, but on the major scene, the Power 5 scene, I mean, you don't even have, what do you have, half a decade? Around half a decade. That's Kirby Smart. Like, that's what Kirby Smart has. And so I think it's really fun to watch. I think a lot of times you got to recalibrate your perspective on guys when they don't immediately match what the best in the game are doing. You don't just throw them out. Like, I know this may be a shock to some people. You can become better even after someone's made you a head coach. When we had Mario on the show about a month ago, I asked him that. I said, what have you learned? Like, what do you evaluate about yourself that you think can get better? And he went into a lot of detail about that. So, Jose, my expectation is flirt with a top 5 class. That's my expectation for this recruiting cycle.